It has been 4 years since we started Living Room Requests. 4 years. Quatre. And other word
Other people who
languages.
may have come along in the last few weeks or months may not realise that we did in fact start Living Room Request with Patricia Hammond and Matt Redman in April 2020.
Yes, so
You'll have to jog my memory about what was going on then.
Oh yeah, I don't know. There was something, and we lost a bunch of gigs, and so we had to do things online, and this is what we did, and we're still doing it now. 4 years later, we did never think this would happen. So this is a kind of a celebration. We did have a, what was it, a 1 year special, and we had a 2 year special. Then at 3 years, we're like, oh yeah, whatever, and then we're four. I think we have to do something. So this is what we're doing.
Will we make it to 5? Find out.
Find out. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? You could be watching way into the future like, oh, they thought 4 was something. It's now been 40. But anyway, so what we're going to do is the ones we did before, you may, I could link them. The first one.
Oh, we played back actual clips.
We nominated Matt set up something incredibly intelligent that it was just live, that we could live replay and watch and react and select, and we each had like runners up and winners and not losers, but I think actually we had sort of like the most difficult, the best,
they weren't losers,
the best
they were just
folk,
categories.
the best, yeah. So we had all these different nominations. This time, I thought, so if you don't like it, it's my fault. I thought we'd ask each other a few questions, interview sort of style, and we'd also have a live redo of 2 songs each that have been requested amongst the 817 requests that we've had so far. So we've each chosen 2. And so what should we start with? Should we start with a song?
Yeah, let's start with a song, which is going to be your song.
Okay, so my first choice of 2 is Africa, Toto. Not because I particularly am wedded to the song itself, but I thought that I did a very bad job of singing it. So I thought I'd have another go. I may still fail, but I thought I'd have another go. And Matt has got also a very, very difficult part, so I'm afraid I'm kind of throwing you in
This
here.
is back in the early days when John and Adam and Matt requested the Toto Africa in the style of Vivaldi.
In the style of Vivaldi.
In the style of Antonio Vivaldi. And just for this one episode, I'm using a humidifier to invoke the excitement that we had in the Smoke Machine episode with El Kearney.
That smells a lot better, I'll tell you that.
And if you don't know
right
what that
now.
is, you haven't been watching Living Room Request since the beginning.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
yes.
Here we go then.
Africa alla
in the
Vivaldi.
style of Vivaldi, specifically on the tenor banjo.
Arranged by him.
That
of
was what
course.
requested.
There we go. I hear the drums echo That's hard.
Do you know why that's actually specifically hard?
Yes, I wanted to ask.
So what I'm trying to do is play the banjo at an appropriate volume to Patricia's voice. Because as you know, popular music usually has a narrow range. But this one is atypical in the vocals of the 1980s, such as this huge range. So it's down here in the chorus. So actually I'm playing the banjo. Usually the banjo, you think of a tenor banjo strumming chords, usually. But I'm playing it in a monophonic or melodic.
Single line.
So what I'm trying to do is use this ultra thin plectrum, and it's so thin that it doesn't.
It flaps around.
It flops around. So
Gosh, wow.
it doesn't. I don't know if you've ever gone to an old piano and you've tried to play it and the key doesn't come up quick enough. So you go
The action.
You can't play.
So you got a weird floppy action happening.
And so I got
like a piece of paper.
Like for example, if I was to play with this thicker plectrum, I can play way quicker than with this thinner plectrum. See, I can't. It doesn't speak. So that's why I was rubbish at playing the song.
No, it's really also very difficult what you've written.
I can actually play it louder with that. Anyway, so that was from my point of view. How would you rate your performance today? Did you manage to achieve some of the goals that you... Sorry. How would you rate your performance today? Would you manage to achieve some of the goals that you had around the way that you wanted to do it?
The way that I wanted to do it, I just wanted to see if because before I think we were set up for a whole bunch of things and we didn't have the number of presets. So everything, it was kind of, I don't know. I don't know. When I saw it before, you could hardly hear me in the lower bits, and I think I've grown in my chest voice since we started doing these. That's very interesting.
Even now, after singing, so many years, that's amazing.
But no, you're constantly evolving, because we are but flesh.
So I'd like to ask a question about evolving, because
this is the interview portion.
Yeah, the interview portion. So yeah, we did mention Erlkönig by Schubert. Another one that goes similar. But basically the question, that made me think of Franz Schubert, and many of his songs that we've done on this channel, and that you haven't watched. I'm not saying you, but majority of you haven't watched, and specifically avoid.
Yes, the Schubert requests get Patricia? The least number of views. And Meeresstille is one of my favorite things on the whole channel. I think that's an amazing, with the contra guitar. It's just, and I'm pretty, and I love it. And it's had 175 views. Come on, Schubert's great. Everybody loves Schubert. But, I mean, it's just, and you'd think, I don't know, I suppose there's a lot of Lieder on YouTube. There's a lot because everybody's like, you've got Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau and
so
all
many
these people,
CDs and records
Brigitte
already.
Fassbender, and also everybody's sort of first, second, third, and fourth year recitals are filmed and uploaded as well. So I think there's a lot of Schubert on there, but I think ours is pretty different and interesting, and I think it's something Schubert would have liked. So it's a shame that it doesn't get very much. There
you go. You see, that is a reason for Living Room Request.
I believe though that if you're watching this, you are a proper viewer and you have seen.
I think statistically that's very likely.
Very likely.
Speaking of originality, could you pass me that nylon string guitar?
Oh.
Speaking of originality, the reason for the next song is just that. I particularly enjoyed the originality that we brought forth through this rendering and arrangement that we played together with Patricia's husband, Paul.
I'm really glad. I think that Matt probably was happy that I chose Africa. We didn't tell each other what our choices were.
No.
But I think he was happy. You were happy I chose Africa? You want to do that? You were happy to do that again?
Well, I'm not unhappy to do it. There's no song that I particularly hated or didn't enjoy.
Right, no.
We've loved all the requests. If you've paid money on PayPal, patriciahammond.com/requests, then we are grateful.
We're very grateful. But I'm really glad you chose this, actually, because I think that if the last one really summed up the insanity and craziness that is Living Room Request, the quirkiness. This really sums up the whole series as an exercise in arranging, specifically his arrangements, which is basically it's an unlikely request for the voice, me, and so you make it work. So you make it work.
On the rare occasion, I'm going to play the guitar on the right.
I really love this. So this was requested by Barry, and it's Muddy Waters, and I just didn't know where to start. But when he'd made this arrangement, then this was very interesting. It's something different.
Thanks again to Barry, and thanks
a new song.
to everybody. Here we go.
A new song.
I Live the Life I Love, reprise if you prefer.
See you watching me like a hawk. I don't mind the way you talk, but if you touch me, something's gotta give. I live the life I love, and I love the life I live. So if you see me think I'm wrong, don't worry about me, just let me alone. My sweet life ain't nothing but a thrill. I live the life I love, and I love the life I live. I may bet 1,000 on a bet this time. 1 minute later I can't cover your dime. Tomorrow night I could be over the hill. I just want you to know, baby, the way I feel. See you watching me like a hawk. I don't mind the way you talk, but if you touch me, something's got to give. I live the life I love, and I love the life I live. I live the life I love, and I love the life I live. I live the life I love, and I love the life I live. So in an unusual request for somebody like me, I mean, who'd listen to Muddy Waters and go, oh yeah, Patricia Hammond? Nobody. Barry, I don't know. I think Barry was asking, like a lot of people do, for the song over the style. So, or maybe the style over the situation. I don't know. But
I like this song. Do that song.
That's it. And nothing more. So in doing that,
that's almost the perfect thought process and formula to have for requesting on this little show.
But in doing that, Matt created a totally new song. Like that song didn't exist until that, I think. And in the version,
other people might not hear it as that different, you know. It's just,
oh, come on!
It's just in your head.
You will. Me and Muddy Waters, like that. I mean, duet. You can't tell the difference between us.
Okay, you ask me your stuff.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask a question. You see, I can't just manhandle somebody else's instrument. I've seen them come unstuck. Anyway, right. My question to you is, what has living room requests taught you personally in your personal development? And I'll answer it too, because, you know.
Remember, Patricia has a lot more questions in the bank than I do, because I answered too many last time we did this.
Not last time, it was the first time. If you watch back,
Patricia doesn't,
because he had runner-up questions, he had runner-up choices, and he cut all my choices short because he's like, nope, that's enough time. And then he would do his choice and he'd do like 2 because he said my runner-up, and so he ended up, if you put together the amount of airtime each of our, he had way more than me.
If you've ever tried, something creative or self-employed or anything like that,
I hold grudges.
And you ask people, who are older or more experienced than you, they'll just sort of say, "Oh, stick to what you love, be authentic, do your thing, and they will come." And that's usually their strongest and greatest advice. that they have.
Oh yeah, find your own voice and be faithful to it.
Bearing in mind that doesn't work for most people.
In the real world.
That's the sadness.
In the real world, you gotta make
money.
money.
It might have in the 1970s because there were fewer people doing certain things. But I think if we're all channeled into the same thing, be it YouTube, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, whatever the specific platform you're going for, and or all of them, there's a lot of people wanting to do things on them. So whilst I'm not saying it was and has been, a major global success such that people on the street would recognize, we kept sort of going, well, this is how we sing and perform music, so we're just doing that. So, it has taught me to just carry on doing things that you enjoy if you enjoy them, and especially if there is a limited group of supporters for that endeavor. And I think we can all, if we just get any feedback, I think we can all relate to that to keep going.
So you were reassured by means of the interaction that no matter how specific you were, there was always somebody.
I know it's not been every day, especially recently,
No.
But
it's been cumulative. I mean, more than 816 requests over 4 years. So
it's quite a lot. I mean, it's probably not as many as some people who did the live streaming. But they were, some people I noticed were not doing it with words. Some people were just doing instrumentals.
Yeah.
And when you take to account all of the multilingual requests. And
the variety. And
all the amount of extreme variety. You just got to keep going. I'm just going to get my next instrument. What else do you want to ask?
I was going to answer. I learned so many styles I never thought I'd ever do. I never thought anybody'd want to hear it. I never thought I'd want to do it, and it's forced me out of my comfort zone, which has infected is the wrong word, affected is the wrong word, which has contributed, which has bled in, horrible image, to the rest of my musical life. So I've learned how to be more open to that, coupled with all the church music that I've been doing a lot of. Is a way of, you can't, when you study music or you're a loner or both, good Lord, then you do tend to sort of really narrow yourself down, and you're like, oh, I don't do that. Oh, I couldn't. Nobody'd like it. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't be good. I wouldn't be the right person, blah, blah, blah. But when you're plunged into the real world, you have to go like, no, it's just, as you say, it's just music. It's just music. You have to do it. It's just a thing you do.
Do it.
So this has shown me how to just do it. And really dragged me out of my comfort zone. I've really grown in the lower part of my voice. I've learned how to look at a camera and express to it. So if you see some of my early, I dabbled a bit in 2-camera stuff on YouTube before this all started. And boy, am I awkward. And now I can just stare, as I've done recently, look through my sheet music with me. I'm so much more natural because of, doing this every week and seeing the result immediately. So, yeah, I've learned so much. And I've learned from Matt, too, because stylistically, this guy is a masterclass. You can plunge him into any group of musicians from all around the world, from any era, and he'll just go and fit right in, be it a bunch of...
Patricia sometimes gets very awkward when she feels that particular musical thing that's going on is not something that she's well versed in.
Oh, awkward! My God, I used to if there was stuff on the system when I worked in the record shop or even in a shop, I would literally try and walk so that I was not in step with the beat. And it sometimes I'd trip over things because it was such an effort. Because I didn't want to be in step with the beat so that people wouldn't think oh, she's trying to dance. She's grooving to that. I'm like, no, I'm not grooving to anything. Nope. Can you imagine being that extreme? Well, you're looking at it.
That's literally going out of your way, literally.
Literally. Oh, it was terrible. Yep, no. Anyway, so yeah, it's made me grow so much as a musician. And it's actually helped us get gigs because of living room requests and the fact that we have this vast repertoire. I mean, obviously he had vast repertoire before, but not with me. The fact that we were able to put we do Sting. We also do Led Zeppelin. We managed to get this wonderful gig as musicians in residence in 2 hospitals because it's much more interactive to what people who are in there would like to hear. So it's that if we'd applied with me before living room requests, I don't know that they would have taken us on. Okay, here's this leader singer who does a bit of opera, who can also do, very versatile in her own way, but, Bach, Schubert.
There's nothing wrong with doing that in the hospital. They have that.
1910s.
They have people who come in and do just opera.
That is true, but we filled something.
Not week on week, though.
Yeah, we did give them something different.
Okay, anything else?
Anyway, anything else? Are you done? You're quite done. Anyway, next choice.
Next choice is yours, Patricia.
My choice. Right, this is my second choice to redo. Sorry, do you like my celebratory necklace? There's a lot more to it. There's lots of.
It's a multi-part ensemble.
I forgot to bring a necklace, and we have to be celebratory. This is 4 years, yay! This is White Wings. This was requested by Pete for David. Pete on the Isle of Wight requesting for David in Connecticut. So this goes out to both. And Pete has supplied lots of sheet music, and just recently visited him.
Amazing,
wonderful, wonderful. And he gave me all this wonderful sheet music of Gracie Fields songs. Wow. And he provided this sheet music. And when we did it originally, he'd given 2 copies, one in one key and one in another key. And we did the higher key. Now we're going to do the lower key. So
for variation.
I like
such
it.
as you like to provide.
I love this song. Song from the 1880s, which is why you chose this instrument.
Is it the banjo?
Hey.
I think everyone who's watching so far has seen this many times, front and back.
Oh yeah, the back. It's like a boiled sweet. A boiled sweet. Very nice. Very nice. You see we got 3 lights. We wanted to make this one look different from the usual because it is a 4-year anniversary of Living Room Requests. Now, I had another question for you.
Just put this away,
but I can't remember what it was.
It says...
it says
I should ask you a
Oh,
question.
right, okay.
You can ask me...
So you haven't mentioned...
No, you can ask me a question after the next one.
Okay.
Or now, if you want. I don't mind.
No.
Can you think of it or not?
Yes, I can.
Right, do it now. I'll just put my banjo over here. Right, you ask the camera.
As a multi-instrumentalist, how have you gained by 4 years of Living Room Requests?
This is like a feedback form for a charitable or publicly funded project. But it is publicly funded in the sense that you are the public.
Is.
It's just not coming from a government body. Well, many people will recall the early additions to the instrument arsenal/wardrobe when I started to play things such as the cross-strung harp or the player harp, which is the chromatic harp with 2 rows of strings on either side. I've just got a small 38 string one, but they do exist in a large format.
Good answer. You bought it specifically for this series. And you've used it outside of the series, haven't you?
And
You have?
I
don't know
do
if you
tell
have.
people when out in the real world, oh, do check out my YouTube series with my duet partner Patricia Hammond. It's called Living Room Requests, and I've played over 50 instruments. And because they just see me play the guitar or the
Right.
mandolin, they don't have a clue.
So
So something not to be appreciated. Hard to appreciate the detail and depth in for sort of 5 seconds. It's worth having a browse, click through for 5 minutes, really, isn't it, to see?
Yeah, sure.
But there's been the church organs there's been the various
Well, it
pianos.
also helps
different...
that every time we do a what do you call that? A thumbnail, you're holding a different instrument.
Sure.
So when you look at the
it
list,
was nice
you
to
kinda
go
like,
to
"Oh."
some of the churches and play some of the nice grand pianos and do some of the classical and parlor songs. That was really varied, and there are different bits of percussion that I've got Patricia to do, that I've included myself. So
Oh yes, I have.
it's just been a
gained in
great outlet
skill.
to actually have a reason to do that. You see, when I was a kid and I started developing my multi-instrumentalist tendencies, I just recorded them together on the on the 4-track tape recorder or later on the computer, just because I could. But it was an expression and experimentation. It didn't have a purpose. It was a game. It was a game and an activity. So it's nice to take those games further into times like now. There's not an awful lot of room in here, so it's hard to play multiple in one song, but I have done that on numerous occasions on this very series.
Oh yeah.
So there are the reasons and answers to that question.
And what were you going to ask me? You have to ask me a question.
I'll ask you after this one.
Well, that's our final one.
Well, let's have a bit of chat after.
Okay. This is Matt's second and final choice for a redo.
Well, we're just looking back at the catalogue of requests of living room requests. This is "Oh You Beautiful Doll." This is an important song because that was a song that we were doing when I met or she had been watching it approximately that time. Steph, who is now my wife. So that is.
You met her during living room request.
Yeah. "Oh You Beautiful Doll." So this one's dedicated to her.
Okay,
And that's another reason that I'm doing it.
Right, let's
You
find
ready?
it. No, I've got to find it. You see, I'm glad this has happened because this demonstrates. I don't know what happened there. This demonstrates how live we are.
Okay,
Very
live
live.
and kicking. "Oh You Beautiful Doll." For Steph.
Honey dear, want you near. Just turn out the light and then come over here. Nestle close up to my side. My heart's afire with love's desire. Then my arms rest complete. I never thought that life could ever be so sweet till I met you. another one that I'm very glad he chose, because this represents exactly what we specialized in before Living Room Requests, which was that we did 1910 songs, which nobody else really did. I mean, nobody. It was so specialized that I had to plead, I had to describe what it was before asking for a gig, which
I'm certain that the majority of people who stuck around are so versed in music that they know of that song, or they are so close to the ground of Living Room Requests that they remember that song when we did it.
And
that was quite a low key sort of first position guitar-y version, but that is how some people played the guitar, and probably this particular guitar, because it doesn't have extended frets, it doesn't have an easy fretboard, it's just
1911 arch top, high tension.
Yeah, very simple.
Interesting.
Play with your fingers as well.
Tough, strong fingers. When he lets people try this out, even seasoned guitarists. No, they don't. No, that's not how they do it. No, if you hand it to a guitarist, no, imitate what a normal guitarist do.
It doesn't just nothing.
They do that, yeah, and then you're like, no, you have to really be fearless.
And it just doesn't make any sound.
It's very funny.
It has to be like.
Wow, orchestral. You hear a lot of frequencies there. So that was dedicated to Steph,
so
and also
song now.
I live the life you live the life I love, and I love the life you. No, it's your turn. Question.
No,
it's your turn.
No.
No, you haven't asked me a question, have you?
Yes, but
you haven't.
You said, "Can I ask you the next one?" And
no,
I said
didn't.
After the next song.
No, I did it. I did it just before, and then now it's your turn. See, very well planned. Very, very well planned.
I thought maybe you would wonder if that you thought, with all of the world and how it is, and all the people that do internet money making things and entertain people, whether you think that actually, though YouTube was the main outlet for Patricia Hammond's songs at that time, is there a better place or a better format that we could have done Living Requests if we were to start, let's say, today?
Right, like doing TikTok. Oh gosh. Personally, I think no. I have no regrets. I think YouTube was exactly the right platform. I think that exactly what I really do think, because when the whole thing kicked off and all musicians had to, really try and be very creative in how they practiced what they did and kept connected with the people who followed them. A lot of people went to live Zoom type things, which juddered, the sound was terrible, there was delays, but it was very, very live. So we opted to kind of do the exact opposite, which was, it wasn't live, it was pre-recorded, but it was done without edits. So it
So it's like
it had the high resolution.
It's almost like a live stream just from before.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's live, but it's, because let's be honest, like he actually wanted this 4-year special to be a live, what do you call that? Live stream? You wanted it to be a live, but
Q&A. There's not enough subscribers.
There's not enough subscribers, and and everybody lives, like, people live in Australia, people live in the west coast of North America, people live in India, and you're never going to be all watching at the same time. I just had visions of it being like 2 people watching, and it'd be very sad.
Could have done a 24-hour sitting.
Oh my, yeah, you'd love that.
The same 4 songs starting round and round and round and round.
But yeah, so we as consequently, because of the way that we did it, we now have this big backlog. This backlog. It's like a catalog, something log.
Back catalog.
Thank you. Of things that we've done before, so you can go to the list and you can watch them. They're all there and they're all high quality. I'm really pleased. I have one thing on my channel which was exactly such a live stream, which was for the London School of Economics, had a concert in their women's library with me and Andrea, Andrea and I. No, me and Andrea. And she, instead of rescheduling or canceling, she had it still, but she had it on a Zoom. And so I got that file and I uploaded it, and it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible. It's an artifact. It's a memory of a time. But yeah, thank goodness we didn't do that. And as
for every single one of these songs.
And I do have a kind of a vision, an alternative.
We have the camera copy, not just the YouTube copies as well.
Yes, got it all on a hard drive, 2 hard drives. But I do have a sort of alternative history in my mind. Like, what if we'd done this on TikTok? what if we'd done it as a podcast? And
yeah.
I do have in my head an alternative history. Like, I think if we'd done TikTok, it would be very, very episodic, stunt-like. We would have come up with all sorts of weird things.
Also, I think if it was audio only, the audio would be better, which a lot of people would enjoy.
But I don't think that it would have been as good.
Actually, it'd be a lot less effort because we just,
Yeah,
especially
just
if we did it
bits.
on this
Just
one,
bits.
if we just did it on the one microphone,
Yeah, yeah.
just no camera.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been...
I don't think people would have paid.
I think for a podcast it could have got very boring because we both tend to talk about minutiae and go on and on and on. But mind you, that's podcasts, isn't it? That's why I don't listen to them. But the whole the whole TikTok thing, I don't think it would have developed my skill set because it's so episodic, so like stunts. But we would have come up with some pretty crazy stuff, I'm sure. That would have been very interesting. But what happened now?
Okay, have you asked all of your questions or not? Just before we close, I'd like to ask you a question, the audience and people who made this, which is, what songs did you enjoy and why? If they were requested by you, that's okay. If they were requested by somebody else, that's okay.
Yeah.
And, if you can give praise to the requester for selecting
your top three. Give your top three in the comments.
Just trying to get a little engagement.
Then we'll know you got to the end.
And what do you think that we could have done differently in the format and location that it was delivered, and any comments about that? But please don't say like, oh, I think you could just play popular songs for free, like like 20, 30 times, and then just put a request in every time in order to get more popular. I haven't got time for that. But anything reasonable, yes.
I was gonna say, what would you have done differently? What would you have
Didn't we do that already?
Did we? I don't know whether we did. But I know that I would have done my hair better, the first ones, and I would have put more lipstick on. I've gained on the lipstick.
We'd have used lights more. Like, you can have nice cameras, but you need the foreground to jump out of the background. People are just going to swipe past it. I suggested that we used like green screen and did different backgrounds that people associate with a classical singer more, because every thumbnail that has like in a concert setting, people click on it more than on these living room, because they assume living room amateur. So give us your comments about that. So if it were up to me, I would have tried it. But then we also tried a bit with some thumbnails where it was like we cut us out.
You did.
And put it on some colours and solid and things, and it didn't really make any difference. But I know that the concerts, where it's a live concert and it's uploaded, particularly with multiple cameras, they're viewed so much more. But the performances aren't any better, in my opinion.
No.
So could we take this out of a living room and go to a concert hall or large performance space, set up multiple cameras and have humans, editing it or cutting or moving them as we do it?
Goodness.
Would it get more views? Probably would, but we would probably need to charge something, I think, like £500 per song to do that.
Yeah.
But if anyone's up for it, I can do it. No. You'll find a lot of people who are really successful on YouTube have a lot of money to start off with.
They do.
A big house, a lot of free time. Or they're married and their partner does lets them do whatever. Or they're like really young, or their kids and their parents have got
loads of gear.
Young thing, and that just allows you to level up. Or they don't try this format, which frankly we looked and people sent us one or two things. And we never agreed that format was the same as what we were doing.
No, I don't.
I
don't know anybody else who's done exactly in the same way.
You can ask your final question.
I don't think I have one.
Good. Because it's been quite long. And we've covered so many things. So that's 4 years. Thanks for joining us.
4 years,
Remember,
4 redos,
if you want to do another request, go to patriciahammond.com/request, or for sure click the link in this description. Then you can easily send the money on PayPal and do like these people have done over 800 times for over 4 years. Got to thank Ian Rosenblatt for starting it off.
Ian Rosenblatt.
And for many other things that he's done on this channel and elsewhere. And supporting Patricia's voice and
all
music.
of you requesters and viewers and subscribers and people just frankly just watching to the end of this, and and if it all ended right now, 4 years is way more than I thought. I didn't think there'd even be 4 months.
It's true.
Truly didn't think so. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you on the next one.
Bye.